everybody, this is Pretty from It's a Pretty World. Welcome to my channel. I'm starting off with this white cardstock and this stamp that I've already pre-mounted onto my Misty, and I'm going to ink her up with some Memento black ink. Now this coloring of this video or the lady, I haven't really shown much on this video. I do have a separate video which shows just the coloring of her skin and her hair, and I will link that video in the description box below if you're interested to see. So I'm just watching off the colors on top to just show you what are the colors I'm using. So it's BV04, E29, E25, E33, E13 and E11 for the skin. And for her cheeks, I'm going to add a little bit of blush with R22 and R30. So these are the colors that I've used, and then I just went ahead and colored her, and I completed her off screen, of course, and then you can see the finished look. And I'm going to just die cut her using her coordinating knife. This is quite a large die, and I really like the size of that die, so it really makes a good it really creates a great impact on your finished stamp, finished card when it's all done. So I'm taking this flower, this large flower from the Spring Bloom set, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that using a gray ink. I don't want to use black for the flowers, so I'm just using a light gray shade ink, and this ink is called, I think it's called Chill. And I'm just going to stamp that all over. So I've also created a couple of masks for this flower earlier. So I'm just going to keep masking and building a pattern or a background on this panel. And then once I was done stamping all of the flowers, I also stamped the inside of the flowers using some black ink. Now these flowers do come with other layers as well, but I did not use them because I want to use Copic colors for this. So I'm starting off with a BV02 as my shadow color. I'm just showing one flower, how I colored the flower, and then the rest I colored off screen. So I'm just laying all the places where I think there would be a car shadow because of the petals over another petal or something like that. So I'm just laying those colors in all those places, the BV02, and then right over BV02 I'm going to start putting in YR. I think this is YR 14, I think so, but I will have all the colors in the description box below for you as well. So I'm just going to add YR04 in all this shadow area and a little extended. And I'm also flicking in a few lines in the center of the flowers, starting to create some pleats. And while I was coloring, a big blob of ink just came out. So I'm just squishing it over a tissue, just the nib, and just kind of, I don't know what you call it, just squishing the tip of it. And when you do that, the ink kind of dries off from the tip, and then you do it a couple of times, and then you're ready to go to use it again. So I'm just back again, and the place where the blob fell, I think that place is going to be covered with the lady's image eventually, so I wasn't too worried about that either. Anyway, so now I'm just going to blend the YR14 with some Y38, and I really like this color combination when I'm coloring my sunflower or any yellowish, deepish yellow floral images. This is my go-to combination, is YR14, Y38, Y35 and Y11. So I'm going to just finish off the Y38 here, and once I'm done with that, I'm going to go with Y35, and I'm going to blend that over it. And as I'm blending this color, I'm making sure I'm leaving those really light I'm leaving some white lines in between, so I'm not really coloring the entire flower because you want those creases of the petals to be seen a bit. So I'm just kind of going over those lines over and over again and blending the previous color, leaving those white lines. And this is the Y35 that I was talking about. And once I'm done with the Y35, I'm just going to go very lightly with the I think it's the Y11, sorry. And I'm not really going to blend it. I'm just going to very quickly flick over those colors, and sometimes there would be some white lines still left behind, and that is perfectly fine. It adds to the highlight of the flowers, and that makes it look really beautiful and three-dimensional. And you can see already that flower having so much more life than what it had before. And I'm going to complete the center. Now remember, I've already stamped it with the darkest color, which is black, so I'm going to add the next lighter color. For me in this case would be C7, and I'm just going to scumble that over it, and then I'm also going to add BB25 as my lightest color. Again, as I'm scumbling, I'm leaving a few white specks here and there, and you can see all the flowers are now colored and completed. I also went ahead and added some BT72 and BT71 in the back of the flowers, just to create some shadows. And then I took this butterfly from the butterfly stamp set. I think it's called a watercolor butterfly, and I just stamped it using some Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I'm going to color it with my Copic colors again. So I'm starting off with the V05 in the center of the butterfly, and then I'm going to blend this V05 with the V01, and really this V01 does blend the V05 beautifully. And from the edge of the butterfly's wing, I'm going to come out with some B69. This is a really deep blue with a bit of a purple in it, so it works well with the purples that we are adding in the center as well. It complements it really well. And I'm blending that using some B66, and then I'm going to bring in some lighter blue shades. In this case it's B14, and I'm going to start blending that over the earlier B colors, and then I'm going to end the B's with the B12. And B12 is quite a light blue color, and it works beautifully. It mixes beautifully with the V01. Now these are quite transparent colors, so they do mix well beautifully. So when I add V01 over again from the center, those two colors do blend in beautifully, and then it creates the two-tone look. And I'm going to take this what you call the butterfly die, and I'm going to die cut that. I've also gone ahead and colored two other butterflies similarly and die cut them as well, and now I'm just placing them onto my card. And I've also gone ahead and added a sentiment, or stamped and embossed a sentiment onto a black cardstock. And the sentiment reads, "Let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." And so true to today's situation in the world, in America as well. So I'm just adding that to the corner. And now I'm just adding these images onto the floral panel using some pop dots and liquid glue. So I'm just adding a little bit of pop dot in the place that's not overlapping her, and liquid glue on the place where the butterfly overlaps on her. So I'm just continuing to do that for all the butterflies. And sorry, the last butterfly, actually I'm going to adhere it directly onto the panel with liquid glue right behind the sentiment label. The sentiment, I've cut it using the banner die from Rubbernecker, and that's why it has that beautiful fishtail banner to it. And then there you go, I'm just adhering that over the butterfly that I just glued directly onto the flowers. And that's pretty much it with all the images. So here's a top folding white note card, and I'm going to adhere this colored panel using liquid adhesive directly onto this white note card. And now it's time to add some shimmer and shine. I know this card is quite busy, but adding a little bit of that gemstone adds to it really adds, I don't know, it adds so much more to what's going on onto this card. So I'm just adding a few gemstones all over the places, and it just kind of in a scattering. And then when I'm done with that, I'm also going to add some black, it's called the ebony crystal drops, and I'm just going to add it to the body of the butterfly. And with that, the card is pretty much completed. Oh, and I'm also going to add a little bit of shimmer onto the butterfly's wings and her lips, just to, you know, as I said, a little bit of bling is always beautiful and gives it a finished look to the cards. And that pretty much completed this card. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time, and have a great day. Bye bye.